It's going to have an impact on the world at a scale that no one understands yet. Much bigger than the horrific impact we've had by social media.
That's Eric Schmidt, who served as Google's CEO from 2001 to 2011. Stanford released the interview and then took it down because Schmidt said he, quote unquote, misspoke. But I think that's a cover-up. They took it down because he practically revealed 3 of Google's biggest upcoming tech secrets. Now, before I show you the so-called controversial statement, let's see Google's 3 most important AI technologies and how a single bottleneck could derail them all. Stick around till the end to find out how all of this could affect your daily life. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, had an interview at Stanford with Eric Brynjolfsson. Stanford filmed and released the interview on their YouTube channels. Everything seems pretty normal, right? Well, then Schmidt goes out and persuades Stanford to remove the video interview because he was quote-unquote misrepresenting the extent of Google's work-from-home program and advocating unethical practices. Speculators claim that the real reason Schmidt asked Stanford to take down the interview has nothing to do with his misrepresentation of the work-from-home program. It has everything to do with the controversial comments Schmidt made about Google's AI program. And if you think I'm making this stuff up, then just wait till you hear what he said and what happened.
In the next year, you're going to see very large context windows, agents, and text to action. When they are delivered at scale, it's going to have an impact on the world at a scale that no one understands yet. Much bigger than the horrific impact we've had by social media.
Schmidt then went on to say, there are people who are now building essentially LLM agents. And the way they do it is they read something like chemistry, they discover the principles of chemistry, and then they test it, and then they add that back into their understanding. All right? That's extremely powerful. So you mean to tell me that after saying all of this and basically revealing Google's biggest AI secrets, Stanford took down the interview because of the work from home policy? It's because Schmidt told the entire world what Google was working on. Just a few months after that interview was released, Google said that they were developing artificial intelligence that takes over a person's web browser to complete tasks such as gathering research, purchasing a product, or booking a flight, according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the product. And the code name for this project is Jarvis, you know, like the AI system Tony Stark had in the Avengers. Then Google came out and announced that they would be introducing not 1, not 2, but 6 different agents. Customer agents, employee agents, creative agents, data agents, code agents, and security agents will all specialize in different tasks to better serve Google customers. But that's not all Schmidt talked about during his interview. He also mentions another powerful function called text to action. To better understand text to action, we first need to smash that like button, just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, to better understand text to action, we need to understand how it works. So in 2025, according to Schmidt, AI would become so powerful that you could give it a simple text command and it would create a program or an app all by itself. Using a simple command like this, you would be able to rebuild entire apps according to Schmidt. And you can see how that would be extremely powerful and have some very valuable real-world applications. So if you could go from arbitrary language to arbitrary digital command, everyone would be able to have their very own programmer. But this programmer wouldn't be stubborn. It will do exactly what you tell them, and it will cost a lot less than hiring an actual programmer. Imagine pairing this with some other powerful AI assistants already out there. The sky would be the limit. Now, of course, it can't recreate an app like TikTok because all of the algorithms for that app are hidden and protected from the real world. So you couldn't just download TikTok, Facebook, or any other already existing app. We're not quite there yet. But the point is, this will be very powerful for the future of AI. The third thing Schmidt said Google is working on is large context windows. To put it in simple terms, large context windows for AI mean that these systems will be able to see and process much larger chunks of text in one go. like reading a whole book instead of just a few paragraphs at a time. With a bigger memory, AI can understand the full context of a conversation, article, or document, so it won't lose track of what you talked about earlier or misunderstand things because it missed some crucial details. This will expand the use of AI from simple tasks like writing essays to using it for much more complex tasks. So you can imagine using AI to analyze a whole legal contract, write a report on a lengthy research paper, or even help you code a big software project. With a larger context window, AI can tackle these tasks more effectively because it doesn't have to keep stopping and starting to reload the information. And when we're talking about real-world applications, this could have some serious impact on education. AI tutors could help students work through entire textbooks or complex problems step by step. Doctors in the healthcare sector would be able to use AI to review a patient's entire medical history in one go and get a better diagnosis. Even artists could use this type of AI. Writers, designers, or filmmakers could collaborate with AI on long-form projects without worrying that the AI will forget the earlier parts. According to Schmidt, when you combine these three technologies and fully develop them, they will have the same impact on the world as social media in the early 2000s and 2010s. But before they can do that, all AI systems will need to bridge the billion-dollar gap. According to Schmidt, there's a gap between the three most popular AI models or frontier models and everyone else. In the past, people used to think that this gap was getting smaller, but now it's clear that the gap between them is only getting larger. But there's a problem in the entire field of AI, money. And we're not talking about a few $100 million or $1 billion. We're talking about tens, possibly hundreds of billions of dollars. OpenAI's Sam Altman believes that they will need around $300 billion to create this advanced merger of the three technologies that will probably result in AGI. So that's why Schmidt thinks that the only way to bridge this $300 billion gap is to get the government involved and work closely with Canada. Unlike the US, Canada has a lot of hydropower. If they can't get Canada to agree, then they could look towards the Arab world, but they will probably not adhere to the US national security rules. So at this level, electricity becomes the main bottleneck for growth. Now, this could have a lot of implications in the real world, but before I get to that, I promised I would tell you the line that got the interview banned. So here it is.
Google decided that work-life balance and going home early and working from home was more important than winning.
That's it. That was the line that was so bad it got the interview taken down. Now, after saying all of this previous stuff about Google's AI advance, do you think a simple statement like this is the reason they took down the interview? If you ask me, Google was trying to quiet Schmidt. He was simply telling people the truth about AI and how much is going to advance in the coming years. You can imagine how that would negatively impact Google, a company that is focusing nearly all of its resources right now on developing a better AI LLM than OpenAI. But I digress. Let's get back to Google and say that they managed to solve all of these problems and they can create a super powerful AI bordering on AGI. What would that mean for the programmers, doctors, writers, researchers, etc.? Near the end of the Q&A session with Schmidt, one of the students asked him if it would be at all necessary for people to study code, and he simply said, yes. Because ultimately, it's the old thing of, why do you study English if you can speak English? To get better at it. So, no matter how advanced AI gets, we will still need programmers. According to Schmidt, LLMs are somewhat of a black box, even for the creators of these LLMs. For example, we know that if you ask ChatGPT a question, it will give you an answer, but we don't know why certain nodes within the algorithm light up. Also, we don't understand how AI creates the answers. So in the future, we might have entire companies that are working on an LLM model hired to deconstruct the software and look at the integral parts inside. As Schmidt put it, there will actually be companies that you'll hire and pay money to break your AI system. Not only will these companies figure out the AI's vulnerabilities, they will also find the knowledge within these systems that we can't figure out. So, in a nutshell, while some popular jobs might be going away with powerful AI, others will be replacing them. Here's another video AI enthusiasts loved watching. This is AI Exposed, demystifying the world of artificial intelligence, one video at a time.